Hello, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Joe.
I'm Parker.
Word up. I've been playing some guitar. My fingers really in pain. Like I think I broke. Is it a capillary under there? Something like that.
I don't know.
Blood,
Stuff.
blood. My blood burst, but it's inside the thing. No,
You
no.
broke some stuff.
Yeah, no. What is that? Blisters though yet. It's just kind of painful. But when you play, the funny thing is, you play like the first 3 or 4 times. You go through the chords, it hurts, and then it kind of just stops.
Yeah, your fingers get used to it.
Yeah.
It's like I wonder what the same. Like after a while, it takes a while, but like in kitchen, like they call it kitchen hands. You can just touch hot ass shit.
Right.
Because like,
You got oven mitts on. I know what you mean.
nah, yeah, sure, but calloused oven mitts.
Hands. Yeah. Well, it's fun. I don't know how to play. I know the tabs. I know the chords. So then I just look up the songs I want to know the riffs of, and I just get to work strumming.
Yeah, it takes a couple tries to like kind of get it down, but we can't do it without looking though. Which
The CZR one I've got there because I've been doing it all day.
yeah, there's some that I can do, like the star shopping one.
I don't
Also,
know.
we've only been like we only just picked it up 2 years ago. Like we've I mean I've played not like well or actually learned, but I've played the guitar before.
I remember one time my uncle had me hold some chords on a bass, and I never really. I would just watch people play. I never really did
Oh
anything with
yeah,
it.
I would always be picking it up. I'd always be fucking around with it.
This is the first time.
Wow, yeah, good shit. Yeah, I guess that's how kind of we were with skate, or I was with skateboarding.
I want to do the distortion one, the
Yeah,
pedal
we
for that.
should because that is a bass amp. That's for a bass.
Yeah, or get like one of the amps that has all the switches, the mid, treble, the
Yeah,
bass, because then you can fuck around with those and
maybe
make the sound.
we should look at that other amp that's at my dad's house. That'd be cool.
Which one? The one in
The
the bedroom or the one in the garage?
the one in the garage.
Damn, that would be cool. Stack some Marshalls, bro.
Yeah, let's just fucking but stack them face down so we're just playing into the downstairs neighbor's house.
But we'll just put headphones in them.
Yeah.
Imagine that, dude. We're just like you walk by us, we're just both jamming out. We can like
Dude.
hear our own thing, and on the outside, all it sounds is like ding, 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 bro. And
Yeah.
they're just like, you know what I
Dude,
mean?
that'd be cool. That'd be like, have you ever seen I don't know if it's a real thing, but I definitely have seen like skits and stuff of the silent nightclubs where they're all just wearing fucking Bluetooth headphones, just listening to like the
That
same
would be
music.
so
Bro,
weird.
but we're doing the silent shit. That'd be so cool.
There's silent nightclubs.
I don't know if it like I have never looked it up. I remember visually seeing some like people dancing with headphones on and shit.
With
But
Neuralink, you don't even have to say shit. You can just like flirt through brain. They don't even have to play. You just playing the music in your own head.
bro, but then you get a like
No,
what are you listening to?
Yeah, what are you listening to? in there?
And Neuralinks it over. You get a little too like tipsy or fucked up. The fucking computer doesn't like change it into regular human voice. It's just like like trying to flirt.
It releases a thing to make you less. It's like a detoxifier. Makes
Oh, that'd
you
be sick, bro. I bet there's so many movies around that, like where people just like Inception was like that, where people got addicted to the dream world, so they would just stay sedated, so they can never wake up, and they just be living in their dream world. So you basically kind of have like superpowers in the dream world in Inception. So they're like, well, I
So
can
it's kind of
build-
like a VR thing.
yeah. I feel like I would not want to do that though, until we're at a point in society where this sounds kind of bad, and I don't want to be overrun by robots, but kind of like Matrix style setup, like this. If I'm remembering correctly from Inception, like they're down in like some like shady basement, just all hooked up to to IV drips, being sedated while one guy watches over all of them. It's like
Inception, is that the one where they're corporate? Whoa, what is that?
that's the Inception sound. That's it plays when the dream starts collapsing. It's just
Is that the one where they're doing corporate espionage where he has the top at the
yeah,
end?
yeah.
So what do
It-
you think? Dream or no dream at the end? Oh, spoiler alerts. Shit.
I
always
can't.
forget
I
those.
I don't know. I think No Dream.
So that is real life. So
Yeah.
the top stopped.
Yeah, the top toppled.
Mhm.
But it is cool because they go into like they go into like 4 deep levels, or 4 levels deep of a dream. So it's like they in the first dream they make the dude fall asleep, and then in that dream they make the dude fall asleep, and it's just like what the fuck. It gets really confusing. I watched it high as fuck the first time, and I was like, okay, I don't understand this, but the visuals cool as fuck.
That's what I was talking about. We watched that Dream House fucked up on shrooms, and that tripped me the fuck out.
Was that the one with wait?
with Daniel Craig,
Dude,
where
I was
he's
about to
like,
say Daniel Craig.
yeah, where
Okay.
he's like the murderer, but then it
Dude, I
turns
don't
out
even
that
remember
he's
watching
a
that.
he's like you first you think it's like some supernatural shit, like you think it's a horror movie. Then you're like, oh, this is not a horror movie, it's just a thriller, like he's a murderer. And then you realize that he's a good guy. So you're like, oh fuck. So this one, spoiler alert.
Some mental shit.
Yeah, it was like a psychological thriller where I thought it was just a horror. Cause you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
it's a scary movie.
Was was
Yes.
I don't think I'm thinking of a different movie, but there's a bunch of movies like that too, though, where it's always like the person that ends up usually killing the main character goes through trying to figure out who killed that. Not the main character, but the main side character goes through the story trying to figure out who killed them, and then everyone's like, "What the fuck do you mean? What the fuck do you mean?" They're like they can't go to the cops and like you killed them because he remembers the cop showing up and like shooting his daughter or some shit. But in reality, it was him that shoved her onto like a what iron rod that goes through the concrete and shit. And
I
it's
don't
like
know
what?
what movie you're talking
I don't
about.
either. It's not Dreamhouse.
Okay.
It's not Dreamhouse, but it's another movie that's basically like that where he kind of just goes crazy and ending up being the killer.
Yeah, man. Some movies are intense. Some really paint a depiction. Like we were watching The Pacific too.
Uh
That
huh.
one just fucks you up because it's almost like they break through. You see all these World War II movies, and they just break through the bullshit of like the old John Wayne charge the beach type thing, and they really show you how it is. And it's funny because I know I talk about it all the time, but I was listening to Eugene Sledge talk about it, and he was talking about Peleliu when they landed. The Marines landed on Peleliu in the Japanese theater of the Pacific War, or the Pacific theater of World War II.
Well, that almost just shows one's almost a documentary or a docu-series type thing, and then the other one's just like not necessarily fiction, but
Yeah, but even movies now are getting better.
true. But they still always have the bullshit explosions and all the dramatized everything. And that's just what movies are there for, you know?
It's probably better that you're more in touch nowadays. Imagine going, you know how it was back in the 40s. Everybody was like, "Oh, proper and we'll have none of that," and all
Yeah.
that. And then you go from that fake environment to somewhere where there's death, there's killing, you see the craziness in people, you see like people swearing and stuff, which nobody swore back then and all that. And then they get this leave, they're on their own for the first time ever, and they experience the things that people that come of age experience, like sex, alcohol, and everything. And it's just like a big loss of innocence, but instead of a regular one, like some kind of high school movie, it's you lose your innocence during a war, which is probably
Uh-huh.
that'd be
It's
intense
more traumatic
for
because I
sure.
think I think a lot of people's loss of innocence comes just well, first of all, of course, with age, but like with us, we kind of lost it pretty young, so age wasn't a factor, but we lost it in progression. Like they just like it dropped, like it just dropped on them.
At
No,
some
no.
point, you're gonna have a loss of innocence, and it's like
When do
it
you want
doesn't
it?
mean it fucks you up. Sometimes it just means that you understand the adult world earlier. But even when you're a kid, you can't relate, so you don't people tell you stuff, but,
Yeah,
like, when you're 7 and people say, "Oh, taxes," you're like, "Oh, whatever."
you could be a kid that fucking understands what taxes are, but you've never done taxes.
Right, you can't relate. So, there, it's kinda like a loss of innocence there, like, you know about all the troubles and
But until you have to do it, it's debatable though because like
no, our
when
generation's gonna be savage, dude, 'cause
well,
we're
yes,
fucked up.
because but, like, kids nowadays also have the internet, but it is a lot more, like, child-proof. There's always, like they're on YouTube, they're only on that
I
type
don't
of
know,
shit.
man. They have workarounds, and I think that the generation after us that had the internet when they got like into teenage years, they're kind of like just now starting to get a wake up to the real world because whereas us, I mean, think about it. Somebody would run up to the table in sixth grade with a live leak video of like
Yeah.
some crazy
Yeah, true,
shit,
that's what I'm talking about, though,
right?
is that,
So for
like
us with the internet from early age, it's like, okay, so you see all this stuff earlier. So I think we're more level headed than the generation after us.
oh,
But
no,
we
that's
don't,
that's what I'm saying is that, like,
yeah,
the generation after us
or before us.
that too, because they weren't able to see all that shit, and when they were
I think
already
after us will be fine.
no, they definitely will be fine, but what I'm saying is that, like, half the super what is that loss of innocence shit that was on the internet when we were 8, not 8, but yeah, I guess 8 through like 12. is like going away. It's being blocked. Yeah, like if you're at school, they know what websites be blocked. There's always new shit coming out, but they usually get
Yeah, but there's
knocked
also gonna
down.
be new ways to get around them.
Yeah,
Like
of course,
whenever
and it's just
somebody
gonna be a
blocks,
fight. It's just
yeah,
gonna be a fight. We got the free reign though. We were the first ones with the internet in school, and they're like, "What the fuck do we do?"
I guess,
So
yeah,
Live
right.
Leak went down. So it's like I don't know. And like think just also think about like Xbox, just
The
Xbox
Xbox
chat.
chats, yeah,
Yeah,
the fucking the people tweaking out, yeah.
yeah. It's like, huh? I feel like they will be. Oh, no, they definitely no. They're not definitely not going to be like that silent generation. They're loud as hell.
It's a weird because I feel like the earlier you have it, maybe the better. Because what is basically you could either have it right after high school, you could have your awakening, or you could wait till you have a midlife crisis, or you could just run all your life and not really think about what you want to do. And at a certain point, you'll pay it back. Whether it's when you're 80 and you're in a wheelchair and you can't move around, so you have to think,
Yeah.
and then you'll be shocked or whatever, or whether it's 30 and you freak out and you go buy a Ferrari or whatever happens at some point. The mind, man. We've been watching too much Terrence McKenna shit.
Yeah.
That's funny. We haven't watched any.
Oh, with the Hunter S. Thompson.
My bad.
Yeah.
I meant Hunter S. Thompson. Yeah. Speaking of guitars, you know what I couldn't believe? That Charlemagne doesn't like Post Malone.
Oh,
Dude, what the
Yeah,
hell?
Charlemagne the God.
Okay, well, I think people know that
Yeah.
Charlemagne, the emperor of I don't think they think that.
Not that he's like hating on his success or anything, because like obviously Charlemagne it has his own success and has his own things to be proud of and whatever. But it's almost like he's like envious. It seems like.
He was just a dick to Post Malone.
Yeah, he was. He was
Like that, like you see 6ix9ine on there. That was a funny exchange.
Yeah,
But to Post Malone, it's
he's
just
such a nice
straight up,
guy.
like almost like I don't want to say bullying because they're two high level people. But how can you not like Post Malone? He seems like a nice guy though. I haven't met him, so maybe maybe he's mean or something. Maybe he throws his Bud Light cans at you.
No, I've seen him. I've seen all those videos, and he's. How would he know that? Like, well, of course he knows that all of his fans are gonna be recording him shit. So if he knocks over someone's fucking beer can, but he brought it like hand personally brought it.
Who knows, man? You can't.
You can't judge somebody from the internet, no.
Right. You gotta meet him and spend some time with him, and even then, it's like,
Well, if you think about it, their fan interactions is just their customer service voice.
damn, bro. I don't think it's that. I think that
They
once
enjoy
you're
their
up
fans
there,
and shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
once you're up there, you're like, holy shit, these people want just me for this shit that I'm doing. Like, some of them
but
get annoyed, but I think some of them that I don't know how you could get annoyed. See, because I haven't experienced this, so I can't talk. But it's like if there was people that eager to see me just,
let's
you
just
know what I
say,
mean?
you're running late to the airport and you're just running out of like Dunkin' Donuts
Fuck
with it.
it. Because if you're that wealthy and famous, I'll catch another flight. Dude, these are the people that are making work for you. Like, no, I'm not
True.
saying when you're eating. It's like, but you could say, hey, can I finish my meal and I'll stop by your table? If that's possible. Look, there's some things you can't do.
People that are assholes to the fans. It's like, what the? And I think that's what I meant by customer service voices. Like, it's like when you meet a friend of a friend that you don't know how to act around. Like how we can just act fucking stupid around each other. But then if I meet one of your friends or something, I'm gonna be like, hey, what's up, man? You
Yeah.
know both of me. You know both of those people, and they're both true. But it's like that's how a celebrity's gonna act around a fan.
Yeah, I
feel like.
guess. They're not going to be their total self. But at that point, they might because if they're being themselves all the time,
True.
you can't
But also, who
fake.
knows what their true selves are?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got an at-home self. But
At home self.
it was funny when Jake Paul was on there. You gotta start. I gotta start giving everybody just a little more respect to Jake Paul because not only is he doing that
I think he
fighting
just
shit,
presents himself very douchebag.
yeah, but he was out. Well, he's trying to get reactions. So.
Yeah, no,
but
I
he
get what you're
was
saying.
on, and this is so old. Like, but I just stumbled upon this. But he was on the thing talking about, and Charlamagne's like, you don't like Post Malone either, or whatever. He's like, no, we're friends now, and he was talking about it. And Charlamagne's like, oh, he's trash or whatever. And Jake Paul just goes, well, he's number one. Numbers don't lie, man. Numbers don't lie. And it's true. It's like he's not
can't
doing
call him
anything.
trash.
He makes good music.
no.
It's like that's why people like it, I think, because it's just something about the melody.
Yeah, and I'm not comparing him to Drake because they don't sound alike, but it's like how Drake caters to like a lot of people. Post Malone kind of caters.
People by now know these are our
Understand, yeah.
opinions and that they're susceptible to change, but it's still like it's just out of principle. It's just like when
Also, he's kind of a troll. Dude, six
That
nine,
guy's
six
funny
nine's
as
funny.
fuck.
But Charlemagne, I feel like just is an asshole to like everybody.
He's the bad cop.
Yeah, I liked when DJ Envy was like 6ix9ine was just sitting there telling a story, and he was like explaining something, and then Charlemagne the God was like fucking. He's like, how did that happen? And then DJ Envy was like, he's trying to tell you.
Oh, it was
Like,
the Treyway thing.
oh yeah, the
Because he's
Treyway
like
thing.
6ix9ine's like, I don't know, it's like a thing like
Nice.
50 cents, get the strap or
Get
whatever.
the strap, yeah.
So then Charlemagne goes like, I thought it was supposed to be, I thought it was the and Envy just goes, he's telling you what it is right now.
Yeah.
Charlemagne's like, I got a best-selling book. I'm doing projects. And he's like, to be honest with you, if it wasn't for this show, I would never heard about you.
For real though. I mean, it's just the truth. I didn't know who and I'm not trying to like, like same thing with like Joe Budden too. It's like I didn't know and he did have a like music thing in the 90s at least people somewhat talk about. But without that complex show, it's like, huh?
That's a funny show, The Breakfast Club. You need Charlemagne though.
But that's why I think they put him there. I think like Charlemagne is there for like kind of comedic relief. And then because he's always the one in the camera with the guest.
Right. Well, there's got to be something with him. He's not there for no reason.
Yeah. You ever think about how like if your bladder is full, it pushes your intestines?
No, dude, I don't think about that weird shit. Like you always thinking about that, talking about like moving them and shit. I don't think about like.
Sorry that my innards are literally fucked up.
It's just like all right.
Just like they are just dying. What's the worst experience you've had with a doctor?
I don't know. I haven't been to the doctor that much.
Oh, lucky.
They're always pretty nice. They're kind of neutral. They're just like, hey, what's up, dude? I'm like, hello.
That's how, yeah, I feel like that's how most of them go. But then I always got a few bad apples. Like I got Crohn's and then I worked at Chipotle and I had the hat and it was a nice fitting hat, so I just wear it around. Like fuck it, it's a Chipotle hat. And I wore it to a doctor's appointment with one of the GIs. He was like, he started asking me questions. He's like, so what's your diet like? And he looked at me for a second and went, hopefully not Chipotle like your hat says. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then he
I know, man. What a piece of shit.
No, I was like, dude, why are you commenting like that? And then he said that he claims that I didn't have like pancreatitis when I was like not younger, but like a few years back, acute pancreatitis. And then my newer doctor after that, he looked through my actual file and he's like, yeah, you have pancreatitis. I don't know. I just get bad experiences with doctors. So you go out to the ocean, you're more likely to drown than in a pool. That might not be true.
Yeah, definitely is more likely. It's
Well, yeah,
1,000%
well,
more
yeah,
likely.
but that's true. But like the percentage, how many like likeliness goes into how like it's like more people live inland, not near an ocean, so they're more likely to go to a pool than an ocean. So more people probably die or drown in a pool, statistically speaking, the amount of people. But just going into an ocean, you're more likely to drown if you can get there. You ever have like the close drowning experiences in pools and stuff?
Yeah, but I swam because we had a pool in our backyard.
Oh yeah.
So my parents would have pool parties when I was little, and my ass was kind of like the youngest person. So I had ton of like clinging to the side of the pool for about a year, and then you fall in, you almost drown, and somebody pulls you out. But yeah, in the ocean a couple times when I was younger, I almost drowned in a pool. In Florida, my grandpa jumped in with all his clothes, but at that time I knew how to swim, so I swam out. But I just went into the deep end and I didn't expect, so I just dropped off, and then I just swam up. But I was like 8, so
You ever do the fucking how long can I hold my breath looking like a dead body thing? I was out in Oakland, and they have like like the water caves. I don't know what the fuck to call them, but they got the big ass mountains, especially in like Northern California. They got the big ass mountains just right on the ocean. And I was just running along the beach, and there was like a little cave tavern thing way back in, just pushed back on the beach. And I go and explore it, but then the fucking tide comes up, and it like reaches me all the way in the back of the cave. And my dad's a little farther away, and he can't see me. And he's like, "Oh my god, I thought you were dead." He thought I was gonna get washed out or something. Water can be fucking scary.
Yeah, man, the ocean's intense with those sea caves, especially. Do you know that spelunking shit? That's just cave diving, right? Can you go ocean cave diving? Because if you get stuck under there, you'll just get cut up on those rocks.
Yeah,
if a wave hits you, I mean, that's powerful. The ocean's scary, but it's also awesome.
It's like we've only like discovered fucking like 30% of it or some shit, right?
Definitely more going on there.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so much deep that we can't, because like the pressure of it, we can't get down that far. Collapse under pressure, kind of like a meaningful life message. Don't collapse under pressure, and you can explore the world and the ocean if you can build it. Put the work in.
Don't point at me.
Don't fold under. Don't crack under pressure. The pressure.
Peace.
Deuces.